Hello and welcome to Storyboard That webinar for history and social studies. My name is Anna and I am one of the content creators here at Storyboard That, and I am happy to show you lots of our resources as well as our amazing characters, scenes, and more. Right now on the left, you can see a bunch of different soldiers that I've pulled down. A large part of history classes is often to review the various conflicts and changes of power between rulers. And I have pulled down many of these soldiers, and you can see that there are lots of different time periods and locations. While our soldiers are not exhaustive by any means, we do have a wide range. In addition, there are a number of historic scenes. Some are generic, some specific. So here are a wide variety of our historic scenes. We also have some more specialized scenes particular to US history. We've also come up with a way, let me just add some cells, come up with a way to show more armies, to show opposing armies. So right now I'm going to go into scenes and click on close-ups, scroll over to the right, and we have some options for very easy drag and drop versions of armies. So you can have both facing each other or one or the other. And of course, you can color code them to whatever you like, all black, dark gray, purple, you know, whatever. And we have various time periods. So it looks like they were 1812, ancient Rome, the Revolutionary War. Each of these are really easy to drag and drop, and then you can put in a scene behind it. So just a quick view. Put that in the back. And I want to make them darker. Okay. Now I'd like to show a similar thing going into the characters. Under silhouettes, you may not have noticed, but we do have a wide variety of silhouettes. So right here, you can see some slaves being transported. We also have more soldiers, and you can change the number. So if you want to have a really large group of soldiers, it would be easy to update this and even copy it multiple times if you wanted to. So we have World War II and Civil War, as well as the other ones I showed before. And if you keep going, you'll notice that we have a bunch of different groups. So this, for example, oops, this one is just a group of adults standing there, and you can change the number as well. And some of the other ones, say this one, we have some protesting or perhaps cheering crowd, and again, change the number. And then, if I go over this way, we have some historic crowds. This is my favorite, of course. We have our characters from the 1600s to 1800s all together, and you can have a large crowd with torches and pitchforks as everyone meets. Okay, and keep on going. And we have some individual silhouettes, and I would like to show you these soldiers. So each soldier has its own special poses for the silhouettes. And these are great to put in the background of your scenes to show a lot of different action. Okay. Oh, we also, grab this down. I think this is what I'm looking for. No, it is not. Here are some of our classical characters. And yeah, that's what I wanted. You can also have them dancing if you're doing Saturnalia kind of thing. All right, let me get rid of all this stuff. Great. In addition to the soldiers, we of course have regular people. We have various rulers and different social status. In the classical era, we have ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient Rome. And then you can go into, oh, before I keep going, speaking of ancient Egypt and ancient Rome, we also have a number of mythological people. I should say gods, I suppose, gods and creatures, including various Egyptian gods and goddesses. Here's our friend Set. As well as Norse gods and goddesses. So when creating storyboards about those different cultures, the mythology is often an important part. All right, back to characters. Medieval. I'll show you the wide range of medieval characters that we have, royalty to peasants, and everything in between. And then looking at the 1600s to 1800s, of course, you'll notice that we have different range of children, some very famous faces, I'm sure, and just a wide variety of various cultures and historical significance. Next is 1900s. And again, you will see some famous faces and a lot of period clothing. And the last thing I'd like to show you with characters is our cultural characters. These are often national costumes or specific people, such as, let's see, this is Montezuma, and here we have Confucius. But we do have a lot of different cultural examples. Sorry, couldn't think of a word. All right, now enough of that. Let's go into some of the resources that we have. Okay, so a number of our resources give you examples of what you might do in your classroom. Our teacher guides are just that, they are guides. While you can often use the materials directly into your classroom, your students will probably have different needs than what we planned. You might have a different grade level, you might have a different group of students with specific needs. There's all sorts of things that you will need to accommodate for. Let's take a look at one of the storyboards. This is kind of one of my favorites. Just to give you a nice close-up view, I'll use the slideshow. So this is spelling out Persian. So at the top we have political. It talks about the political scene in ancient Egypt. And then economic. This is economic portion of ancient Egypt. And so on and so forth. Religion. And you know what? I really like this storyboard, so I'm going to make a copy into my account. but I'm not really interested in what the example has. I mean, I really like the idea, but I want my students to fill this out. So I can go ahead and delete a lot of the text, delete the images. You get the idea. I'll keep on moving. And this is going to be my Persian template. Okay, now I have a wonderful storyboard here, and imagine that it's actually blank and not still filled. I can convert this storyboard to a template. By pressing this button, it makes the storyboard a special version of the storyboard, and all of my students can see it. And I'm going to put it into an assignment. I can add to an assignment right here underneath the template. However, I haven't made the assignment yet. So I'm going to go over here to Manage Assignments. And I have some great assignments for my students, but I need to add a new one. So let's just say Persian for Egypt. Add the assignment. All right, here I am with description and instructions. So please finish the and I would likely say a lot more than that in this example. And I want this to be for my social studies class. Updated, all right. And if I had a rubric, I could put the rubric here. This is just a dummy rubric, which you're welcome to use at any time. But you can practice or see what the assignment would look like when you have a rubric in it. And I don't have any templates yet, so I need to make sure that I get a template. No storyboards. Let's see, where was that template? Persian template. Now, I'm going to add it, oops, it's up here. Add it to one of my assignments. Update. And now, if I go back to my assignments, I'll see Persian for Egypt. Here's my template. Here are my instructions. It's going to my social studies class. And unfortunately, I don't have a rubric for this one, but normally I would add in a quick rubric. Okay, let's take a look at some of the other resources we've got. The Age of Enlightenment. We have a lot of great resources here. Let's take a look at one of these storyboards. This is the before and after. So we're looking at, this is a grid storyboard where we have change of views of the universe, example 1, example 2. So early in history and then after the during or after the scientific revolution. Let's go to the next one. Oops, it should be up here. We also have some resources on the Holocaust. And one of the I don't know if in this case I should say good, but one of the useful integrations is with Photos for Class. So in this storyboard, we're able to use historical images, frightening that they may be, to describe, or rather to show history as it was. We also have various various characters for the Holocaust, and you may need to activate that content by going to your Storyboard Creator options. So I just want to briefly run through a few of these impacts of the Columbian Exchange. Here we've got a T-chart, New World to the Old World to the New World. In the Atlantic slave trade, let's see. Here's a great example of the triangular trade, showing how the progression of how things were working. So we start in Britain and we move across. Okay. We also have some civics teacher guides in addition to the history. So in this case, this is just an introduction to what government is. And you can see that there are different types of government and examples of each one. Examples of these governments throughout the world. And then also a little bit of deeper diving into government. A Bill of Rights, teacher guide. And one of our history activities is the 5 W's, who, what, where, when, and why. Just to get a better view, a better understanding of certain documents or events. And now for the timeline. One of the options for Storyboard that is, the layout options, is a timeline. And of course, this is extremely beneficial for history. We do have, let's see, let's skip over the ELA. We have some examples of different timelines, and the reason why there are vertical timelines like this is so that you can scroll up and down on a computer or a phone much more easily than scrolling left and right. Let's briefly take a look at this one. I think this is a good one. This is in our imperialism teacher guide. And this is my favorite timeline that we have, mostly because I did it. And you might also want to check out our types of graphic organizers. We give suggestions on what you might want to use the different layouts for. And for history, the timeline is probably the most applicable, but the traditional storyboard is useful in most cases. Comparisons with the T-chart grid is comparing more than one dimension. And of course, the FAIR model is great for vocabulary, but also for splitting anything up into 4 groups. Spider map, you have, it's the same as the concept map, where you have a central idea and then details about the topic. And the 16:9 is really just a wider version. It's widescreen of our regular square box. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of these guys. And if you're curious, I put a shape behind all these people just so you could see all of them together. It's nothing fancy. But of course, if you have any questions on being fancy, I'm happy to help you out. Okay. So that's all I've got for right now. A lot of what you'll be doing in your classroom is dependent on the topic that you're studying and the creativity of your students. So I would love to hear more about what you guys are doing. Feel free to tag me at Anna M.Y. Warfield on Twitter, or of course, Storyboard That. And let's see if this will work. Yes. And you can also email me directly at anna@storyboardthat.com, or hello@storyboardthat.com. That will also work. And I would really love to hear what you have been doing with social studies, history, and really anything else with the Storyboard Creator. Thank you so much, and have a great day.